Hello, my name's Linda. I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I'm making a box of Christmas cards. So I'm making a box and the cards, and this is for the Stamp and Hop blog hop. Now the theme of this blog is favourite designer series paper or stamp set. So I'm actually using two here. So I'm using favourite designer series paper and favourite stamp set. So I'm going to be using 8 by 4 inch pieces of cardstock. I'm using Real Red and Garden Green. So I've already cut these to the right size. I'm just going to show you the scoring. So we're going to go to 4 inches to start with. And we're just going to score. So that is going to be the middle of our card. So then I'm going to flip it over and we're going to score at 2 inches. So then it's going to fold this way, and then we're going to fold this piece over this way, and that is going to be our card. So before we put our scoreboard away, we might as well do some scoring for our box and lid. So I have here a piece of 7 1/4 inches by 7 1/4, and this is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and with our 7 1/4 we are going to score at 1 1/2 inches, and we're going to do that all the way round, and our 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 we're going to score this at 1 inch. This is going to be our lid, so we need to go just under 1 inch all the way round. And the reason we do this, the reason we go just under 1 inch, is so our lid will fit onto our box base. So let's just fold and burnish all of our score lines first. I'm going to do a little bit of cutting. So this is the larger piece, so this is going to be the base of our box. I'm going to cut straight up, and then I'm going to cut a little chunk off of the tab there. I'm going to do that on all sides. So this is what we're going to be left with, and now we just need to do some little tabs. So you just want to do a little wedge on each side there, and we're going to do that all the way round, and this is what you're going to be left with. So on the lid, so on our lid we're going to cut straight up like we did before, and we're just going to put the wedges straight in. So I've gone ahead and put some double-sided tape on all of my tabs here. It's a bit hard to see because I've used a red tape there, and you want to put those on the outside of your box because they are going to tuck in. So I'm just going to put these to one side now, and we're going to do some stamping. Using Very Vanilla, I've cut out some of the stitch shapes. So I've done a couple of squares and a couple of circles. I've already made one card, so that's where my other circle is. And then using the layering squares, I've cut out the shape that's just a tiny bit bigger with the scalloped edge, and I've cut out 2 in Real Red and 2 in Garden Green. We're actually going to do a little bit of stamping on our Very Vanilla now. I'm going to use my deer and my fox, and I'm using Real Red and Garden Green. I'm going to ink my deer up in Real Red, and then just try and get that in the centre, just like that. I've got the snow as well, and I'm just going to go round the edges. So I've done 2 in red, so I've done a fox and I've done a deer in red, 1 the square and 1 the circle, and so these ones I'm going to use Garden Green. So I'm going to put my fox in the middle there, and my deer on this one, and then I'm just going round with my snow again, and then I'm just popping this up on dimensionals, and I'm going to pop that on. So they've got a little bit of dimension to them. So these are my finished toppers here. I'm also just going to pop a little sentiment on there. I've already done these. I've cut these out. I've die cut these with the stitched rectangle dies, and I've used gold embossing powder to put a little sentiment on there. So I decided to pop these up on dimensionals. You don't actually need many, the normal ones are small enough to get on there. So I'm going to put those to one side. So I've brought the bases in here. So I've already done those two. I'm just going to do them like this. So they're all going to be like this. I've decided to go real red onto real red, but you could do this the other way around. So what I've done here is I've cut this at 3 7/8 this way, and this one is 3 7/8 as well, but I've cut it on a strip so they actually all join together. So these two have both been cut at 1 7/8 each. So I've got like a seam that is going to go all the way across, so I'm just going to stick those on like that. And so there's all my design series paper put onto my cards. How pretty is that? Love it, love it, love it, love it. We're going to do a tiny bit more stamping that I'd forgotten about. So on the back of our cards we're going to be putting some very vanilla, so we can write our message, and I decided it would be nice to have just a little bit of a stamp at the bottom there. So I'm using the garden green again. I'm using one of the trees, and I'm just going to stamp that in the bottom corner there. I'm going to do 2 in green, and then I'm going to do 1 in red, although as I said, I have made 4 cards. This piece of Very Vanilla is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and we're going to stick that onto the back of our card here, and I'm going to do that now. So I want to add a little bit more decoration to the card, and I've got this fantastic punch that I've just received, so obviously I have to use it, and I'm just going to punch out some of these in garden green and in real red and some gold foil. So I've punched all these, and I'm going to be working with one of my green cards first. So I want a red and a gold. So here's my card base. I want my topper to go in the middle of my card here, and I want my red and my gold to be behind here, so they're poking out a little bit, just a little bit of decoration, because I've got gold embossing powder here as well. The gold foil looks really good, and you can put those wherever you want, but you don't want them going over. So if they go over the edge, you're not going to get that card in your envelope. So I found the easiest way to stick these on is by sticking them on to the back here. So I've just secured them with a bit of double-sided tape, and so that's going to go there, and I'm quite happy with that. So the next thing we need to do is stick this piece to here. So I've actually put some more double-sided tape on the back here, but you could use glue as well. Now you do need to make sure that you do not put anything on this side, and it's best if you don't go right to the middle, so you're not tempted to come over that side. And then I'm going to put that in the middle. So then you can see on the other side that there isn't any glue there. It looks a little tiny bit wonky. It's very hard to do this when you've got a camera in your face, but there you go, that is the card finished. So here are all the finished cards. How pretty are they? So they stand up like this. I think they're called a Z fold. Can't remember actually. So I'm just going to put these to one side, and we're going to finish our box. So I've cut out here a piece of garden green and another piece of design series paper, and this is 4 1/8 inches, and we're going to put that on the lid. So our lid is actually 4 1/4 inches, so it's just going to fit in there. And then I've cut out another piece of design series paper, again that's at 3 7/8. So I'm just sticking this into the middle, and then I'm going to stick that into the middle of that. And I've made this little topper to go on the top here, and it just says for you, and I'm just going to pop that on like that. And we're going to put our box together now. So you just need to take all the paper, all the release paper off. So I've taken all of my release paper off, and I'm just going to tuck those in. Make sure you get your corners straight and then push that in. Do that all the way around. This is a really, it's a very basic box. Very quick, simple box to make. There's our lid. I'm just going to go around with my bone folder. Really pretty. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the bottom. Take all of the release paper off, and then we're just going to go around exactly the same, getting our corners straight. You could use a wet glue for this as well. I wouldn't recommend using a snail because that is probably not going to be strong enough to keep your box together. We can just put our lid and it should fit. There we go. It's a nice fit. So let's get our cards and put inside. I've actually got some 4x4 envelopes here that I've actually decorated, and I've put some liner inside, and I'm going to pop those into the bottom of my box because they were very white and I didn't think they went with the cards very well. And then I've got all my cards and they pop in there. So the envelopes, I've actually got a video coming out next Thursday on how I made the envelopes, and I've also made some little pretend stamps as well, so you can check that video out next Thursday. And so there we go, finished. How cute is that? That'll be a lovely gift to give to somebody. So thanks for watching this video. Don't forget, this is a blog hop, so you can go to the description below. Not only will you find a list of my products used, but you'll also find a link to my blog post. If you go there, you'll be able to click on the next button and hop along with everybody in this blog hop. Not everybody's made videos, but you will be able to see all the photos of what people have made. So thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. Bye.